And a big welcome to everyone. This is Theory of Awesome. I am 78% nitrogen, Trace Dominguez.
And I have a surprising amount of lung capacity, Sophie Schrand.
I forgot how fun it is to fly a kite. You know, like a sunshine, a nice breeze.
So fun. And you might even say, educational.
Ooh, I like where your head's at. How so?
It is impossible to fly a kite without at least some wind. You can create apparent wind by running it to get started, but you'll need real wind to keep it up.
That's true. And wind is something that we live with here on Earth every day. It affects our lives, it affects how we live them.
And no one really gives it much thought, and probably don't really know how it works. I think, in my humble opinion, no one thinks enough about wind. So let's take a look at some of the ways that wind can make its presence felt in your daily life. Well, guess what? We can think of a kite as an aircraft, which means our 4 aerodynamic forces are joining the party.
Hey, welcome to the party, y'all. Yeah, that means kite flight is governed by lift, drag, weight, and thrust. That's right, but do kites thrust? You know, because like gliders, they don't thrust. So what's providing the thrust for a kite?
That's a great question. They do actually have thrust because they've got one thing going for them that gliding vehicles don't. Tension.
So we've got our 4 aerodynamic principles, which are fundamental. Then we've got the kite, an invention that we've dated to 11,000 years ago based on cave paintings in Indonesia. And then we have people who are awesome. So we get what? 3 new subsports? Maybe like 4? Obviously fluid sports being one.
Of course. Yeah, I saw kiteboarding, kite sailing, kite landboarding, kite buggies. The type of kite used in those sports is called a power kite. Ooh. And some people like to fly those just by themselves, so I guess that's 5.
Yeah, these sports aren't using your basic balsa wood and crepe paper kite kind of kite.
Correct. Yeah, they use power kites. Power kites! Sometimes called traction kites, and they look similar to a paraglider, but they're very different flying modes. Paragliders are designed to maximize glide ratios. The glide ratio is the amount of forward distance divided by the downward distance, or descent. Paragliders will achieve about 11 units forward for every 1 unit down.
And gliding for long distances, that's not really the goal of a power kite. That's not why you're doing it, bro.
They get very low glide ratios. They're designed for speed and control. The kites in our clip have 4 control lines. With those, a flyer can slow the kite, stop it, reverse it, and most importantly, change the angle of attack.
Angle of attack, cool name. Not a lot of people know what it means. That's the angle of the wing relative to the direction of flight. So it's how you would get airborne. You control that angle of attack.
Yeah, that is how they harness the wind. Or is the wind harnessing them? That's neat.
Oh, not cool land, though.
Okay, so what we are seeing there is the kite steering into the wind, adjusting the angle of attack to get more lift.
And there's probably a limit to how much lift you actually want in a case like that.
Clearly.
Yeah. So what did they do wrong?
Well, it's hard to say that something went terribly wrong. It's just a great example of the power of Mother Nature.
Yeah, I think we better be nice and kind of respect nature.
Yeah. Very powerful.
Yeah.
It was breathtaking. With respect to the pilot, that is bonkers.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that could go wrong in a flight like that, starting with even just the takeoff.
Yeah, which is pretty incredible that this pilot can do it, because this differs from what we saw earlier. Those brave souls were harnessing the wind down at the surface. This is a base jump start.
And BASE is actually an acronym, which is cool. I didn't know that when we were doing this episode, when we were researching it, and not sure everybody knows that either. It stands for Building Antenna Span and Earth. BASE. In this case, it looks like our pilot launched from a cliff, so obviously Earth. And to do that, there are a lot of flight mechanics to manage.
The Paraglider is a gliding vehicle. and the rider is the pilot. And just as in any other aircraft, lift is the key. That is a function of speed. That doesn't mean the pilot has to run fast to lift off, but the wind has to pass over the wing at a high enough speed.
You know, the wing should be directly overhead and inflated on takeoff. If you think of those parachutes, they're not just like one thing. It's an inflated piece of fabric. And takeoff accidents are often the result of being too far ahead of or behind that glider, causing deflation. Let's see if we can tell what these would-be pilots did wrong, because we've got some clips of that too.
Ooh, okay.
Cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Take one.
Oof.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Oh, okay. Nope. I think I figured out what they did wrong there. In this case, I don't think there's a takeoff there either.
Nope.
This looks pretty.
Looks nice.
Okay, see it inflated there, and then, oh no, oh wow, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, that could have gone way worse.
Yeah, it could have.
Oh!
Wow. In their defense, a couple of those people just plain fell down.
Yeah.
They didn't even get far enough to determine if their technique was wrong or right. What we do know is that when there is enough lift to overcome the total weight of the vehicle, a safe takeoff should occur.
Yeah, and then once the glider is up, it functions like any other gliding vehicle, which we've all driven. Lift slows descent, but it doesn't provide thrust, so the paraglider doesn't gain altitude like a powered aircraft would.
That is, unless the pilot is able to use the principles we've talked about to cheat a little bit.
Ooh, just a little cheating, just a little bit.
To gain altitude, the air around the paraglider must be rising faster than it's falling. So we know that warm air rises, but why?
Well, when air is heated, it expands, and since we have the same amount of air now occupying a larger volume, it becomes less dense, which is the key. Lower density warm air floats on top of the cooler, more dense air around it. Remember, I said think of it like a fluid. This column of warm rising air is called a thermal, and it creates a buoyant force that we can use.
Just what you need if you want to go up instead of down.
So here's what I want to do. I want to go to the lab. I want to see if we can engineer a thermal updraft right here in our studio. We need a heat source, some way to channel the air.
Yes, okay, while we do that, check out these pilots riding thermals, including one very chill, very brave couch potato.
Oh, I love this video. That's really weird. All right, safety goggles, because these are on fire.
Yep.
So fire, as we know, heats things, and heated air, as we've discussed, expands. So what we've built here is essentially a thermal in our lab. Yay! So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some of our airplane models, and we're gonna see if we can create an artificial thermal, and you'll see the planes go up as they fly over all of our heated devices.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, it will literally crash and burn.
Wow, let's hope that doesn't happen, but if it does, we have safety, Kevin, right here.
Thanks, Kevin.
Ready?
Okay, do you want to go first?
No, I don't, because I'm afraid of the fire.
Okay, all right. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh! It turned because of the fire.
I think maybe.
Because it was pushing it up.
Perhaps.
Let's try this.
This is the one.
All those times throwing darts. Pay off.
Okay, so they're consistently going this way, which does suggest that there is movement going upward because of our thermal updraft.
It's Sophie. Woo! That was cool. That definitely went up.
That went up. That was cool. All right, shall we see how Kevin does?
Yeah, I feel like we've got Aviator Kevin here, so we should probably just have Kevin try.
Yeah, Kevin!
Kevin!
Whoa!
Wow, Kevin is so much better at this than we are.
Whoa!
Consistency.
Whoa! Oh, did you see how it got that that
Did you see
lift.
the other Kevin catch? Should this be just the Kevin show?
Whoa!
Wow. That's,
Okay.
okay.
We
I
can
think
just
we've
keep going
illustrated.
forever.
I think we've illustrated the science.
Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank
you,
you.
other Kevin, for making
Kevin.
us look so great.
I would say that was cool, but it was pretty hot.
Yeah, it was. I see what you did there. Yeah. That joke was fire.
Sophie, look, I'm doing it.
Great job, Trace. Look at
God, I can't believe I didn't do this sooner.
I'm so proud of you.
See you next time on. Oh God.
Trace.
Oh, the theory of awesome.
Trace! Trace!